Look at the phone in your hand for a moment. Just hold it. You can feel the smooth screen, smooth glass, quiet, almost lifeless and no sound until it lights up. Now, listen closely. Inside that phone, something incredible is happening. A language is running non-stop. Millions of switches are turning on and off. Yes, no, true, false, 0, 1. That simple language is what runs your phone, your bank app, your social media, your entire digital life, and we call it binary code. We are taught that it began in Europe, that mathematicians and engineers invented it in laboratories, universities, and tech companies far away from here. But let me tell you something they don't teach very well. What if I told you that long before electricity, long before silicon chips, long before the word computer ever existed, and even long before anyone ever said the word algorithm, an old man sitting barefoot in a Yoruba forest was already using the same logic, not to run machines, but to understand human life, to read the future, to diagnose problems, and to correct human destiny. No screen, no keyboard, just using palm seeds and a system older than memory. He did not call it code. He did not call it science. He simply called it IFA. To understand this properly, we must slow down and enter that world. Imagine stepping into a quiet shrine deep in Yoruba land. The ground is cool under your feet, slightly damp, and you can smell earth, palm oil, old wood that has absorbed decades of smoke. Somewhere nearby, you can hear insects humming steady, patient, like they've been there forever. And right in the center of the shrine, a man sits calmly. He is not rushing. He is not guessing. He is not even improvising. This is a babalawo, meaning a father of secrets. In his hands is a chain called opele. If you look closely at the chain, you will see 4 palm seeds on the left and 4 palm seeds on the right, making 8 in total. The priest doesn't rush. He simply asks a question, not loudly, not dramatically, just enough for the air to hear it. And then he lifts the chain and lets it fall. Bah! When the seeds land, some seeds will face upward, catching the light, while some will face down, touching the mat. Open, closed, light, dark. That's it. No sparks, no smoke, just logic. 8 small decisions made by gravity. Now pause with that number, 8. In modern computing, the smallest unit of usable information is called a byte, and a byte is made of 8 bits. Each bit can only be of 2 states, on or off, 1 or 0, true or false. The opele also works with 8 units, and each cast produces a pattern, a specific arrangement of open and closed seats. That pattern is not guessed, it is read. It is not symbolism, it is structure. Different tools, but using the same logic. Here is where the modern story becomes uncomfortable for anyone who believes advanced logic belongs only to the modern world. You see, with 8 binary units, whether bits or seeds, you can only create exactly 256 combinations. In computing, that is basic mathematics. Now, ask the babalawo in simple question. How many major Udu exist in Ifa? He won't say many. He won't say countless. He will tell you calmly, 256 Odu. not 255, not 257, exactly 256. That number didn't come from faith, it came from structure. Now, here is where people misunderstand IFA. The priest doesn't guess, it is mathematical architecture. A question is asked and the chain is cast, and then a pattern appears. That pattern corresponds to a specific Odu, and the Babalawo remembers the Odu. Now, there are 16 major Odu, and each major Odu produces 16 sub-Odus. 16 times 16 will give you 256 Odu Ifa, numeral verses collected over centuries. This is not fortune telling, it is database. Each Odu cast appears as a pattern, and inside that pattern are stories, warnings, solutions, outcomes, moral lessons, and historical records. It recalls similar cases, people who faced the same pattern before, what they did, and how they overcame it. In modern terms, this is case-based reasoning. Let me explain it in another way. When something goes wrong in a client's life, maybe his business collapses, his health begins to fail, or his family falls apart, he won't go to IFA to hear magic. He goes there to query the system. The Babalawo doesn't guess. He will cast the Okpele, and the pattern will appear. That pattern is not the answer, no. It is the address, just like when you search the internet. The Babalawo recognizes the pattern. He knows which Odu it points to, and that Odu contains cases like yours, like people who faced the same problem before. What caused it? What they ignored? What saved them? And what destroyed them? This is pattern recognition, the same thing modern AI is built on. In Yoruba belief, this system is actually overseen by Orunmila, the Orisha of wisdom and knowledge. Orunmila is not a god of thunder or war. No, he does not fight, but he remembers. He witnesses destiny and stores its patterns. The priest now, the Babalawo now, is not the Orunmila. The priest is a trained human interface, someone who memorizes vast bodies of oral data and learns how to retrieve the right piece at the right time. This is why training as a Babalawo takes many years, because memory matters and interpretation matters as well. Here is something most people never notice. Before IFA speaks, you must identify yourself, your name, your lineage, your origin, your specific problem, and why. Because IFA does not give general answers, just like a computer system. It needs the correct user, the correct context, and the correct query. Think of it like this. Your name is the username, your problem is the password, and the virtual space is the secure login environment. Without the correct inputs, the system does not load the right result. This is not mysticism, that is authentication. Now let us talk about failure. Every computer system fails eventually, not because it is evil, not because someone attacked it, but because something was overlooked. A condition wasn't accounted for. A logic broke somewhere. We call that a bug. But in life, IFA says the same thing. Illness, loss, sudden death, chaos, these are not always causes. Oftentimes, they are system faults, like something was ignored, a duty was neglected, a balance was broken. IFA then will diagnose the fault and prescribe ebo, meaning sacrifice or ritual action. This is where sacrifice or ebo is misunderstood. Some people think that Ebo means bribing God. No, Ebo is not bribing a god. It is not payment for sin. Ebo is a correction. It may involve returning something that was taken, changing a behavior, repairing a relationship, or acknowledging responsibility. In modern language, we might call it system update. You don't curse your computer when it crashes. You fix the error. You update the system to prevent future failure. That is what Ebo does. It doesn't control fate or erase destiny. It only redirects it. AI does not train itself. Humans feed it data. Humans correct it, and humans shape its output. But a Babalawo trains for decades. He memorizes verses, learns interpretation, studies human behavior, and learns restraint. The important difference here is that AI has no morality, but IFA does. IFA binds knowledge to character. That is why not everyone can practice it, because knowledge without discipline will eventually destroy itself. Binary logic did not belong in one civilization, quite alright, but it appeared in many ancient knowledge systems long before machines existed. In China, the I Ching uses broken and unbroken lines. In North Africa, geomancy uses paired markings. In Yoruba land, IFA uses open and closed seats. Centuries ago, European scholars became obsessed with binary logic, and one of them, a European mathematician named Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, formalized binary mathematics in the West in the 1600s. Leibniz studied non-European systems intensely. He was fascinated by symbolic logic from Africa and Asia. He didn't invent binary logic from nothing. He only recognized it. History really connects these dots clearly nowadays, but the parallels are undeniable. Binary thinking is ancient, and the computer and AI is only its latest expression. So sometimes we do ask, why wasn't this taught? It wasn't taught in schools because IFA did not write textbooks. It preserved knowledge in memory. Colonial education dismissed oral systems as primitive, not because they were weak, but because they were dangerously complete. Let's be clear, IFA is not a computer. Yoruba priests were not secretly building laptops, but we are trying to say that intelligence did not begin with silicon. Humans have always tried to find patterns, reduce chaos, learn from experience, make better decisions. Computers do this fast, but IFA did it patiently. Different tools, but similar thinking. So, the next time your phone lights up, when an app predicts what you want, when an algorithm knows you better than you expect, remember this: long before machines learned to think in 0 and 1, people already were, not in laboratories, but in forests, on mats, with patience and memory. IFA isn't competing with AI. It is reminding us that intelligence has always been human first. And maybe, just maybe, we are not inventing the future. Maybe we are slowly remembering the past. Does your culture have a system like this? A way of calculating life? A method of diagnosing problems? Tell me in the comments and let's share our thoughts together. In our next story, we are going to explore how the IFA priest reads the future and destiny. Some people go to the Babalawo to check what the future holds for them and what their destiny says. I will take you through the full process in our next video. Stay tuned.